Hello everyone, I've been trying to do this a bunch of times. This is like my third take and I just always take too long. So I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to try to be very succinct and punctual. Here we go. The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. It's modern fantasy. High fantasy, in fact. Why? Because none of it can happen in our world, and in fact, none of it does happen in our world. It's set in the world of Middle-earth. There are wizards, and dwarves, and dragons, and elves. Okay, so it follows Bilbo Baggins, who is a hobbit. He is that, a hobbit is a creature that is about half the size of a man. He goes on an adventure. After living in the Shire for his whole life, he decides to leave it and to help this group of dwarves regain their home. And on the way, he grows a heck of a lot. Alright, so now the criteria for this genre. Is it consistent? I think it is. I think Tolkien's world is very consistent. It's got, yes, there's magic, but it's got rules. Like, Gandalf can't just say, poof, we're there. They have to journey, and they have to find their way. There's no easy way out, I suppose. Does Tolkien suspend disbelief with his characterization? And I think so. He has Bilbo, who, though he has lived in Middle-earth, has only stayed in the Shire. So a lot of the things he encounters, which are new to us, are also new to him. So we both learn together. And the language is also very believable. Tolkien is a great world builder, and he has lots of different names for places that they visit, and there's different types of elves that we learn the differences between. And so definitely this is a believable world. Detail and attention to this detail in the setting. His world mapping is very, very detailed. They don't just like climb and then walk and then make it to the mountain. They have to cross the Misty Mountains, and then they have to go through the Mirkwood Forest, and then they have to like go down a river, and then they have to like climb up a mountain, and then they reach like a field where Smaug has just like destroyed everything, and then they also have to like rock climb, and then they make it to the Lonely Mountain. Another thing very detailed that Tolkien talks about is food. Food all the time. All they do is eat or be starving. So if you're hungry, don't read this book. Read it on a full stomach, or it's painful. Okay. Theme. Is it worthwhile for children? One of the things I found is that the small can accomplish great things. Bilbo is just a hobbit. He's literally small, and he's also been living a very small life. He's been very proper and reserved, and then through this experience, he is able to grow himself and become something a little bit greater. And he also helps his friends save their home, or regain their home, and helps a lot of people, and just becomes a different changed person in a good way. Another theme that I found is that war is not good. There is a war in this book, and it's not glorified at all. It's a lot of characters that we've spent the whole time with the book die. Sorry about that spoiler. I won't tell you who dies, but people die. And I think it's sad, but it's important for children to know. So finally, sorry about the noise, guys. I'm doing this in the snow building because I have no time to go home. Okay, so point of view. Is it consistent in sight, feelings, and physical reactions? So the narrator is a little omniscient. He knows what Bilbo and the dwarves are feeling. He like often talks about how they're feeling, they might be feeling spirited and ready to go, or they're just feeling really down and they just don't really want to go on anymore. And he also addresses the reader directly, such as on page 240, when. Yeah, he said, so Bomber, the chubby dwarf, is like, I'm not going to go on that rope, it's going to break. And then the author tells us, luckily for him, that was not true, as you will see. And then he doesn't follow up with that thought until like 2 chapters later. But because he addresses the reader, we know it's coming, and we know to like lodge that back in our minds. So he does that really well. Okay,
It's really funny.
so finally my favorite features of this book. Even though it wasn't an easy read, it was a really relaxing read. I love his tone that he uses. It's very just calming, I suppose. I'm going to read you this excerpt and then I'm going to sign off. So this says, "The stars were coming out behind him in a pale sky barred with black when the Hobbit crept through the enchanted door and stole into the mountain. It was far easier going than he expected. This was no goblin entrance or rough wood elves' cave. It was a passage made by dwarves at the height of their wealth and skill, straight as a ruler, smooth-floored and smooth-sided, going with a gentle, never-varying slope direct to some distant end in the blackness below." All right. I hope you guys read this book, and I'm sorry that this video is literally so late. I'm the worst, but I hope you guys just have a great weekend. Goodbye.